I didn't really see that coming. Life in the valley usually isn't, you don't get one like that, but it was nice to play as well as we did. We really played well, all aspects of the game, a lot of good contributions across the board. I know they didn't play very well. I know Dan's frustrated with his team. That's an awfully talented basketball team there that we have a lot of respect for, but we had a good day, and they didn't quite have a good day, thus the result.
Questions?
Greg, I don't know if there's any one thing to point out other than what you want to do offensively and defensively. The team was probably committed to more so than it's been since the Indiana game.
Yeah, we've been getting there, since Christmas. Indiana game, we made a bunch of shots. I mean, really, the good vibrations were going, the momentum was going. That's a new coach and a new team. They were questioning themselves, and we just got off to a really good start and never took our foot off the gas. That happened a little bit today, a lot of things going right for us, but we got to take some credit too. Our guys guarded their tails off. We did so many good things, tried to take them out of some of the stuff that they wanted to do. And on offense, we just, we didn't score for, I don't know, we didn't have a field goal for the first 4-minute game, but our defense was still good. We held them to 4. We want to be 7 or less. We didn't score. We still scored 84 points and walked it up, for the last 8 minutes. So really good effort. He showed the potential that we have. I think we've been putting together longer, better stretches of play. Still got to continue to improve, but that's what these guys have done.
What did you guys do differently against Yarborough maybe than the first time?
Well, we let him, but it was pretty easy for him in the second half. We played with the lead there a little bit, and they really started going to him. We didn't help to him like we did, and then we would foul him. I think he was 13 for 13 or something in the second half from the line. Keep him off the line. You can't guard him with one guy. He's such a good passer. That's what I really like about his game. But we're flying around, making it tough for him to catch it. Got deflections. Probably got him a little frustrated too. And it wasn't just one guy. It was a lot of guys.
In terms of the defensive progress that you're seeing from this team, both out on the perimeter with Jordan and Brenton having a second good defensive game in a row, but also in the post with Murph and Mondre and Kedar kind of switching between both. Where are you in terms of what you want to see versus what you saw today? Because certainly it's certainly much different than it was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I think your goal is always try and be perfect on defense. TP had the scout, gave him a great plan. Obviously, the guys are committed. I think our preparation's been better, watching tendencies and how people want to score and doing those things. But we have to have Jordan Barnes and Brenton Scott playing defense, and then I've said it many times how they guard our season's probably going to go. They're committed to it. They're trying. You have a great matchup, Keyshawn Evans and Jordan Barnes out there, and Brenton's really been good defensively and offensively the last couple games. But it's everybody. We've had so many times with good possessions where we break down and it's a layup, or we break down and it's a second shot. And if you can defend and make very few mistakes by your preparation, you're tough to score against, and that's what the best teams in this league always do. They're usually that team that can really lock down and guard and make it tough for you to make shots. And Illinois State's a very good offensive team, that we had a hand in today, not making them not look as good as they are. And again, I don't think they played as well as they liked.
Along those lines, are you starting to see the light go on in their heads in terms of, okay, this is what we're capable of doing, this is what we need to do? Because I think that was, a big problem earlier in the season. Maybe there wasn't that recognition of some of the stretches where they had positive play.
Yeah,
Are you seeing more of that?
Yeah, I do. And Todd, what it is. It's not easy. If you're guarding Malik Yarbrough or Fain, it's not easy. So you're going to have fight. You're going to get there. It's going to be a slugfest. It's going to be a fist fight, and you have to try to take away somebody's strengths. But again, in this league, everybody is so well prepared. Your team defense has to be good, and I think that's our guys are trusting each other a little bit better. Guys are following scouting report a little bit better. They're not just seeing themselves as, hey, how many shots am I getting or how many points I'm scoring. You have to take a defensive mentality because the shots aren't always going to fall.
Maybe you just hit on something that I didn't think of until you said it.
That'd be a first.
I know. Has this team finally discovered that it isn't easy? I mean, have they kind of committed to the fact that, okay, we can't just go out there and show up. We have to work hard, and maybe is that evident in the last few games?
Well, you say that, but, I really think we've practiced because we do so much defense in practice. I get on the assistants about, can I do some offense now? But we really work hard and do a lot of things on it. But, yeah, it is hard to get stops, and everybody's got to do their job, and when one guy breaks down, something, the other team gets an easy one. We've been guilty of that plenty, and we still got to get a lot better with it. But I think you go in the locker room after emptying your tank and really working, really playing hard and doing those things. It's a reward. It's rewarding. The game is the reward, and you go in and you get a win like that. It makes me feel good for the guys because they have been working hard.
What was said amongst the guys at halftime? Because obviously you've been able to take leads like this and not hold them today. Obviously the opposite, but was there any discussion in there among the guys about, hey, we're up and we need to not let this one?
Yeah, and I'm not in there all the time. I go in there with about 7 minutes or so to go, probably but you can hear, and I always have somebody listening. They're saying the right things to each other. It's easier when you're ahead, to say the right things and do those things. But the coaching staffs, we made it a point because of all the games we've had this year where we've not done very well or had bad spurts of play or didn't finish well. We just kept talking to them about let's win the next 4 minutes. Let's win the next 4 minutes. Even when we, at the end of the game with all those guys in there, although we got outscored 10-0 and threw a few extra turnovers out there at us, we want to continue to win. If you break it down in 4-minute games, you want to win as many of them as you can.
If there was an individual that stood out today, and maybe over the last week, is Tyreek kind of starting to figure this out a little bit in terms of what he needs to do in terms of how physical he needs to be in conference play and all of that, because obviously he's strung together several.
He is, and what I've really liked, Todd, is he's speaking a little bit. Not a ton, but he is speaking. He's if it's important for you to win, if that's what you have to do, Tyreek, for us to win games, then you have to do it. So he's starting to do that. He's a load on offense. He's really good. What we've been trying to get him to do is he's got some gifts athletically, and he needs to use those on the defensive end of the ball too. But where he has struggled a little bit is the team aspect of it. It's a little bit of osmosis from Brenton Scott to him. That guy will set a back screen, and they get an easy basket. So he's going to keep getting better on that. But he's just like I said after last game, I told him, take the governor off. Just play like your hair's on fire on offense, and on defense, just lock in and really prepare in how we want you to guard. He's doing a great job. He's a talent.
Any shot that Clayton Hughes would have played today? Obviously, probably not.
No, it's bad. It's bad, and he's had a history of it. So Connor's really Connor's working like crazy with it, but. Game day practice today, we just didn't feel like he could have. We dressed him just in case, and if it was an emergency or something, but he wasn't going to play today. He wouldn't have been able to be effective for us.
Coach, one of the better crowds we've seen at the Holman Center, and it got really loud when you guys extended that lead to 40. How special was it to get a win this big in front of a large home crowd?
Well, I've always said it. We have unbelievable fans. We have loyal fans. They're friends. They're not just fans. We just like to have more of them, and I hope that if our guys play that way, everybody can bring some buddies with them, or other people want to say, hey, they're really playing hard. They're doing well. Let's go watch them, and I think that we were guilty of it. We weren't very fun to watch, some of those home games before Christmas, and we've got to put a product out there that's better. So I love it, always love it. This is a great place to play. It's a lot of fun. I know our guys like it, and if we can continue to do stuff like that, I think they're going to enjoy watching us.
This being the second time you guys have seen Illinois State, and that game on December 31st kind of maybe let slip away, if you think. Was there any type of revenge on your mind, or maybe not revenge, but does this make it feel extra good?
I don't think so. They were without Keyshawn in that game, and obviously one of their better players, and we played pretty well for a bit, and I thought down the stretch last couple minutes, them getting to the free throw line and us not taking care of it, it could have easily won that game, an overtime game, one possession before that. But coming into this is we knew we were going to see a very good team, and we knew we had to play better than what we played at their place. If you see them again, you're going to have to make changes and adjustments and do those things. So we have a lot of respect for them. They're awfully good. Our guys were ready. They were on edge. We talk about playing with an edge, and if we play with an edge at both ends of the floor, we're pretty good.
Coach, after a big win like this, what's your approach, and how do you keep your team focused for a big road game in the week and against a team that you guys?
You want them to enjoy it, because that's a heck of an accomplishment, and practicing the way they've been doing. They can get away from it. Enjoy this one tonight. Let's watch the tape. Let's learn from it. We have a mandatory day off tomorrow, which is good for some of them. JB's got a toe. Brenton's got a couple. We've got all kinds of guys with bumps and bruises. They got. We talk a lot about taking advantage of your rest. They have to. They can't be up on their feet doing different stuff when they need to be resting and going to bed, getting sleep. We'll be ready. The staff will be ready. for the Salukis on Monday. We'll be ready to get down there and get on the road and see if we can't get to +2.